Squirrel Girl is probably the weirdest character in all of Marvel, and that goes without saying. I mean, she can talk to squirrels, she's got a giant bushy squirrel tail, and she's somehow unbeatable. Now, if you're not a Marvel nerd like I am, or just an enjoyer of niche characters, allow me to help you get some insight into Marvel's nuttiest character. I'm SSJ Ryaku, and I've been a Squirrel Girl fan for quite a long time. Now that her presence has had a resurgence in popularity thanks to the one and only Marvel rivals, I figured it's now the perfect time to talk about the one and only unbeatable Squirrel Girl. So without further ado, let's jump into it.
You take the battle, it's over, that I've lost my composure, cause I'm staring into space. And now my heart's beating fast, like a maybe start a new chapter, I will soon reveal the beast. There's a beast in my soul, and it wants to evolve, can't be pushing me so I can end it. Now the words leave your tongue, where did that power come from? It's saying to do that which that you condemned to.
So, for those who don't know, this is Squirrel Girl, which is her hero name. Her real name is Doreen Aline Green. She is a gag character, and with each gag character comes a unique trait of how their gag works. Son Goku from Dragon Ball has the gag of being strong but stupid and goofy. Bugs Bunny from Looney Tunes has the gag of being unbearable. Thomas Jasper Cat Sr., simply known as Tom from Tom and Jerry, has the gag of losing non-stop. However, what is Squirrel Girl's gag? She wins every single fight. Yes, you heard that right. She wins every single fight. Now, you might not know how that works, so let me explain. Essentially, she can win every fight in a dangerous altercation. Now, how does she do this? She just does. We don't know how, we don't know why, she just wins every fight. Think of Marvel's greatest fighters. Deadpool, Wolverine, Thanos. Unfortunately, all three lost to this gremlin. How? Because that's her gag. She defeated Wolverine in New Avengers number 15, Deadpool in Cable and Deadpool number 30, and Thanos in GLX Special number 1. In fact, these people aren't her only victims. There are so many more. MODOK in The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl number 6, Doctor Doom, Marvel Superheroes number 8, Ego the Living Planet in The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl beats up the Marvel Universe, and all of the Avengers in that same comic. She is an absolute unit because of her gag. The only loss I know of is with a cannibal Luke Cage, but that one doesn't count because it happened in a non-canon universe. We'll get into these feats more later, but for now, back to explaining Squirrel Girl. She has enhanced athleticism, enhanced reflex, and the ability to talk to squirrels. Nothing more, nothing less, making all these feats impressive. So, Squirrel Girl has had two pet squirrels in the span of her existence, Monkey Joe and Tippy Toe. Monkey Joe was her first squirrel partner before he was killed by Leather Boy, and Tippy Toe is her current partner. The greatest part of her? She's Canadian, which adds to my conspiracy theory that the most likable characters in Marvel are Canadian. Deadpool, Wolverine, Squirrel Girl. I mean, come on. But that's not the point. So now that we've established Squirrel Girl in a simplified manner, let's get into the goods. So we've already established that Squirrel Girl is one heck of a powerhouse. Her whole gag is that she wins every fight. To make this more fun, let's go over each feat, shall we? From her debut all the way to the most recent. Her first victim? Victor Wenner von Doom. also known as Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom is an extremely powerful and deadly villain, having defeated and killed his own master, Marquise of Death, who could destroy universes. Yet somehow, Squirrel Girl managed to defeat him when she was only 14 and had just started becoming a superhero, which means she had no experience, no fighting skills, and just a homemade costume on. How did she beat him, you may ask? She sent the Squirrel Stampede over to him, leaving him looking absolutely humiliated and beaten brutally in the streets. Keep in mind, this guy killed his own master who could destroy universes, yet he couldn't even handle a stampede of squirrels. Sorry, but that just goes to show her first feat of her insane gag. 14 years later, and we have Squirrel Girl versus Thanos. Keep in mind, this was in her early part of her career, so she was around 15 to 17. How did she defeat Thanos? By herself and Tippy Toe. No other squirrels were involved. Keep in mind, this Thanos had already defeated Black Bolt and Thor. Keep in mind, Black Bolt and Thor are one of the most busted characters in Marvel. However, we have a problem, Houston. You see, there's a debate on whether this was the real Thanos or a clone made by Thanos. While the Watcher says that this was the real Thanos, Thanos claims he made clones that can fool Watchers, as stated in She-Hulk Volume Number 2, Number 13. However, we don't have official confirmation from Marvel on whether or not this was the real Thanos, so this feat is ultimately up to debate on whether or not it's real. If you ask me, it's real, because hey, if she can defeat Doctor Doom, MODOK, even all of the Avengers by herself, what's stopping her from being able to defeat the one and only Thanos? Next up is Squirrel Girl defeating Deadpool, which was only a year later, in 2006. Lo and behold, Deadpool got his crap kicked in by Squirrel Girl. Look, I'm a huge Deadpool fan, but I'm sorry, this is just sad for Deadpool. Keep in mind, Squirrel Girl was a young adult around this time, meaning she had less fighting experience than our friend Deadpool here, who is a literal mercenary. And here comes MODOK on the list of Squirrel Girl's victims. MODOK has defeated Namor, who has defeated the Hulk, Silver Surfer, and Magneto. Unfortunately, once again, she was a young adult. Jeez, it's impressive how she only has claws, enhanced athleticism, enhanced reflexes, and a squirrel tail, yet she can defeat people like MODOK. Honestly, it's just scary what she can do. Next up on the old Squirrel Girl chopping block is Wolverine. Yep, our boy in New Avengers number 7 of 2010 gets demolished by the one and only Squirrel Girl in a sparring match. Now, it was only a sparring match, but nonetheless, Squirrel Girl is the GOAT. Anyways, I think you all get the point. Squirrel Girl is pretty busted with that gag of hers. So you're probably asking, well, what can't she win at? Well, despite being able to win every fight with impossible odds, life never treats her well. You see, because of her squirrel tail and claws, she was bullied throughout her childhood. Now, look, I don't get bullied nowadays, but I do know what it's like to be bullied. I myself was bullied in 3rd grade by 2 different 5th graders. It didn't end until I beat up one and the other one graduated into middle school. It may have only been a year's worth of bullying, but that doesn't make it hit any less close to home. Because even after 3rd grade, my school life was pretty bad. I was treated poorly, mostly throughout my middle school years. I was isolated because my ex spread a false rumor for both 6th and 7th grade. I was called names for it. My only friends were adults, and I got to experience real betrayal. Anyways, getting back on track here, Squirrel Girl has also had a pretty bad dating life. You see, she shared a relationship with Speedball, and the two later broke up, which left her heartbroken. She had 2 major crushes, which were Daredevil, that she moved on from, and Wolverine, which she still has feelings for, both of which are unattainable for her because they're too old for her. You see, this hits way too close to home for me again, because hey, my first relationship ended with heartbreak. At least for me anyways, not for the girl though. As for the unattainable crushes, I did have one when I was really young, but I won't get into that. She also lost her crush to Chipmunk Hunk to a girl named Mary Mahajan, which I can feel as well because finding out your crush already has a partner just sucks, you know? We've all had that experience before. If you haven't, you must be very lucky. Overall, I think the fact that she doesn't win at the game of life like I do balances out her gag extremely well. I mean, if she wins at everything, both at the game of life and every fight, how can she be a truly great character? Making her lose at the game of life, after all, makes her feel much more human and relatable than anything the Avengers, Fantastic Four, or X-Men can offer. I think the greatest part is that she just somehow grins and bears it. The fact that she just smiles and bears through it all is truly remarkable to me. After all, when all that bad stuff happened to me, I couldn't smile myself. But you know what? I survived, and I feel proud of that. I think the greatest example of Squirrel Girl's loss at the game of life is her secret identity. You see, in her story, a villain by the name of Melissa Morbick, also known as Iron Ring, leaked Squirrel Girl's identity. Do you want to know the first thing that happened when it was leaked? Her apartment got blown up. The scariest thing is that this kind of thing has happened in real life, where people have been doxxed and extremely hurt by it. To me, this one event alone makes her insanely human. Because think about it. One day, someone who hates me could dox me, and I'd be put in danger of my life. Anyone could. That's why this event is so human. Tony Stark got to reveal his identity publicly. Yet Squirrel Girl didn't. Squirrel Girl suffers, just like everyone else. That is truly why Squirrel Girl is the greatest Marvel character of all time. She doesn't have flashy powers or tools like Iron Man or Thor. Her life sucks, unlike Tony Stark, and has sucked since she was born. And despite this, she wins every fight with a smile on her face. That's why Squirrel Girl is truly the greatest Marvel character of all time. I want to thank everyone for listening, and this is SSJ Ryaku signing off. Peace!